So the task at hand is to draw stars all over the screen that are colored that are placed in random locations. Right? So we're supposed to draw 50 of them. And that's a pretty complicated task. So if I was going to break it down, I would first draw one star, and then I would color it in, and then I would draw multiple stars, draw 50 stars, and lastly I would place each at a random location. So let's go ahead and start with that first task to draw one star. And so we've already done the code before in a past assignment, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here using a function. And so let's go ahead and say def star of side length. And we're going to have a for loop for I in range 5. We're going to move forward side length. Oh, and we need to say turtle, right? Turtle.side forward. And then we're going to say turtle.left, and it's 144 degrees that we need to turn. And if we do that 5 times, it will draw a star, right? But we still need to call the star function. Right? We have it defined, but we need to call it down here. So we need to say star, and I'm going to say a side length of 100. So when we run this program, it's going to import all the necessary files, the turtle and random. It's going to create a screen. It's going to make the turtle. It's going to ignore the function definition. And then it's going to run that function called star, passing it the value of 100, which is going to jump up to line 9 and say, okay, here's the definition for star. And it's going to make this for loop happen 5 times. And every time it moves forward, it's going to move forward side length, which is equal to 100, because that's the value that we passed it on line 14. Once it finishes, it's going to come back down here and wait for the exit on click. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And you can see it draws a star. The program's waiting for me, and I'm going to click. Right? And it goes away. All right, so good. I have my one star drawn. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Now I want to color it in. And so the way that you color it in is we're going to use a function called begin fill and end fill. And so we can come over here to the Pygame documentation, and you press Control F, and we can say begin underscore fill. And this is it right here, begin fill and end fill. And if you look at this example, how does it work? Well, first you need to set the turtle's color to black and red, and I believe this means that when you fill it in, it's going to be filled in with black, but the outline is going to be red. Okay, and you need to say begin fill before you start moving your turtle around and making your shape. You move it around and make your shape, and then you say end fill in order to color it in. So let's go ahead and apply that to our program. So we're here, and we're going to say t.color is going to be black, comma red. You could change these to whatever you want. Then we're going to say t.begin fill. Okay. We make our star, and then we say t.end fill. And let's see if that works. Okay, so it kind of worked, right? And I guess I was wrong. The first color is the outline, and then the second color is the color, right, that it gets filled in. And so let's see what happens when we take away that second argument and we just have one argument. Okay, so it does it with black. And so I guess we can go ahead and just leave it like this. And you know what? I like the way that this star is set up. So let's go ahead and leave it that way. But if you did want to fill in this center portion, we could do that, right? We can leave it the way it is here, or we can go ahead and just take this code and put it into our function, right? So that it does it for each of our stars. All right, great. And now that we have, well, let me go ahead and run that and test it. Okay, so now that we have our star created and filled in. Well, we want to draw more stars, and the way we do that is we're going to have a for loop for j in range 50, and we're going to draw the star in the for loop. Right? But if we go ahead and do that, you'll notice that we're just going to go ahead and draw the star over and over and over again on the same location. So what we need to do is we need to move our turtle before drawing the star. Right? So I'm going to say turtle.goTo, and we're going to say x and y, but x needs to be a random number and y needs to be a random number. Right? So we can go ahead and say random.randRange, and we could say maybe -250, comma +250, and we're going to do that. This here is going to return a random number between -250 and +250, and then we're going to do that again here for the y value. Right? So it's the turtle before drawing the star is going to go to a random x location, and then it's going to go to a random y location. And so let's go ahead and try that. Alright, and so you can see we have our stars being drawn all around the screen, but we have this line as it moves from star to star. Right? So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that by pen upping and pen downing every time we draw our star. Right? So we can say here t.pen up, we draw our star. Oh, I'm sorry, this is going to be p.pen down. Ooh, let's do a p.pen. How are we gonna do this? Maybe we could do it right here, and we could say t.pen up, and then right after we finish drawing it, you could say t.pen down. But then if we run it, you'll see that there's a bit of a problem with that. The problem is that first location when we move, right? So I guess it's not really fixing it. And so what we would want to do is before our for loop also do a pen up, right? So let's do a t.pen up right here before we move around. Right when we land down for our star, we'll do t.pen down. And then after we finish writing our star, we can say t.pen up. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's okay, we're okay there. Because every time it comes back into the for loop, it's going to bring our pen back up. So when we do that, we can erase what we did with our pen up and pen down over here inside of our star function. And let's run that, see how that goes. Beautiful, right? So now we don't have that trace going on when the turtle's moving from location to location. And of course, if we want our pen to move around faster, we can come back up here and we can say t.speed at 1000, and we'll run that. And you can see it's going quite quickly, but 50 stars is still going to take quite a bit of time.